Hello everybody, Isabella from Attire here with my trusty photographer and husband today serving as a subject again. I know lots of you like his narrating, so we will share the task. Today we are in Scotland in 1830s, and today we are focusing on the gentleman's attire from that period. So we're going to cover the day attire and outdoor options and move on, maybe in this video, maybe in the next one, I haven't decided yet, to the evening attire as well. So at the moment, Lucas give us a nice spin. He's just wearing his dressing gown, plain wool, functionable, comfortable, warm, essential here in December in Scotland. With a little bit of decorations. There were quite a lot of really complex ones as well, and I have one on the list to bake with beautiful fabric, but at the moment that's what he's having, a little sash. And this is something that a gentleman will be wearing after getting out of bed or for lounging over a day attire as well. So it's quite versatile, I suppose. It's just nice and cosy. That's your lounging kit really, with a little hat on top, which unfortunately stayed behind on Exmoor. But I think
it's in my banyan.
It's a bit early.
Little early.
So that's the basics. So you're getting out of bed, you put that on, go to the bathroom or empty the chamber pot or whatever. Or if you're going from the outside, you think your frock coats are going to be too formal for just lounging on your own or maybe with a couple of friends in the house. So you just take off your frock coat and you stay in trousers and a waistcoat and put a little dressing gown on top to keep warm at the fireplace.
If I may do, it also works wonderfully when you're seeing to your needs of your barbering, as it were. So, as you can see.
Yes, your freshly shorn beard, which was Elizabethan like 5 minutes ago. The joys of the historical dressmaking and interpreting. Right, I'm going to ask him to remove the dressing gown. Don't faint, ladies. Oh man, just don't faint anyone. In this case, you just a plain woolen bits with some decoration. Can be lined, absolutely can be lined with quilted lining if you want extra one. So that's quite a lot of layers, right?
This is nice and warm, and it's got a lovely bit of braid on the side as well for decoration. I am, as you can see, wearing my bed socks, my warm socks. As Isabella said, it can be a little nippy here in Scotland at night, so always good to have those on. And I've got my
nightshirt,
I suppose. Let me see.
So I'm going to ask Lucas to remove himself out of the shot to change his shirts into a day shirt.
We could do a spin transition.
As the spin transition? No, we're not stopping it.
Alright then, back in a moment.
In the meantime, just a few looks about what I'm wearing. I'm half dressed really. I'm going to put some winter stuff on in a moment, but I'm just having a loveliest antique petticoat. I'm not sure you can see it, possibly now too dark. In changeable silk with beautiful embroidery. I'll try to get some photos, and I will have some more close-ups of that in the video on my own, because I'll be filming myself in a second. And I'm just wearing a little bit of a antique jacket just for indoors, so no proper gown yet. I will upgrade that in a second, but I thought I would help Lucas, who is sporting a very short shirt somehow.
Yes.
And long wool socks.
It's an interesting look. Not for everyone.
No, it's a good shirt with reinforced shoulder seams and little gussets at the side seams. These little features, unimportant as they may seem, were very functional because every single time you have a slit, it's really liable to tearing. So that little gusset reinforces it, and it basically means your shirt is going to last much, much, much longer. I don't think you have a gusset here. Oh no, you do have a gusset here at the shoulder as well. So that's again a very nice feature. I haven't made that shirt, the test making shirts. I don't mind making occasional ones. I think this one is from the Darcy's Clothing.
This is a Darcy Clothing shirt?
It's a Darcy Clothing, based in Lewes, I think, in England. So absolutely fine. Not hand stitched, but beautifully done. And those features are absolutely period. So yeah, good source. carry on.
Trousers.
Okay, trousers in that era really changed from the pantaloons for the evening wear and from the previous ones to straight trousers and to Cossacks. I'll try to get a couple of photos of Cossacks because we have it from last year. These ones are just pretty standard corduroy, country gent attire, not too wide, not too narrow, easy to ride in, easy to walk, easy to wash as well. Cossacks were a very fashionable trousers with very, very full hip area and tapering down to the calf, and very often was still underneath. In that era, if necessary, gentlemen would still wear corsets. Lucas has conveniently forgot his. He keeps forgetting them. I'm not sure.
Do I really need one, darling?
I'm not sure there's a little plot here, but if needed, you absolutely would be wearing a corset just to provide that fashionable silhouette with broad shoulders, nipped in waist, and rounded hips. Very feminine in the same time, but also very, very dandified, I would say.
Quite triangular.
Triangular, but with hip.
But with hips.
So that's like
Yes.
hourglass.
A bit like an hourglass, but or more like a loupe dentelier, if you like.
Okay.
Yeah, but there we go.
Right. So we have the first layer with some nice braces.
Indeed.
And a bit of a neckwear. Again, neckwear thing that changes a lot, but at that time we still have very garish ones, very plain ones, really depending on what you want. We have just a plain black moire ribbon one, so that will work.
That'll work nicely. In terms of the braces, these are an old vintage set that I have. I also have some very nice ones from Papillanaceous silk.
Oh, that's for the evening.
But they're for the evening wear, so you'll see them later.
Okay, so put that on. That will require some skill. A variety of knots were used. You could use ties, cravats, you can use folded sort of square handkerchiefs as well. Basically, and colour later on, in the 40s we have a little bit more sedate approach to the neckwear, and it's more unified. At the moment it's really whatever goes. Also could do with more frilly shirt, but that's for the evening I think as well.
Indeed. I've kept my frilly one for the evening.
Although they could be frilly as well. So I think Lucas is going for the simplicity of a country gent at the moment. And see how... You have a mirror there if you need. This actually should be alright, but half an hour later...
I'll use the mirror.
I think the 30s fashion is really fascinating for gentlemen because that's the time in tailoring where a lot of things changes. 30s, 40s, the tailoring gets a much more updated modern look and the techniques change as well. I've been studying tailoring for the last couple of years, mostly because I'm preparing for the next book, The Dandy Through the Ages. So that's going to be another 2 years. Oh wow, that was quite fast actually. Very nice. Waistcoat.
It's not like a Victorian bow tie. They take forever. Yes, it's just quite a simple bow knot. And as Isabella said, there are many, many types of cravat knots that you can learn. And perhaps I should learn some new ones. I have many cravats after all.
There you go. So it's really interesting to learn modern and historical tailoring techniques as well. And I think we have both referring to the waistcoats and coats and frock coats and tailcoats. It's quite a lot of things and how they change. It's a transitional era in terms of tailoring techniques and looks. Well, let's carry on.
And before we do, often a cravat pin would be used to hold it in place, especially with the more complex and interesting knots. But I'm leaving mine for this evening, for the evening wear.
You only have one?
No, I have several. But I'm leaving the one that I'm wearing this evening, for this evening.
Yeah, so we have waistcoats, an absolute essential for any man really. This one's one of the first ones I've made several years back.
I love it.
With some leftover silks. It's a short collared one, and in this case the shawl is cut in 2 pieces with plain black back with some lacing. In 30s we already have arlets and grommets in women's corset, and they start appearing on men's waistcoats as well to regulate the width. The front is quite well tailored, very often with padding, On the chest, we don't need much padding here, but it has a little bit. All to fill up the hollow of the shoulder to achieve the fashionable look. And you have little welted pockets. So that was one of my very first welted pockets I've made. So it was quite, I don't think you can, it's too dark.
It's a little dark.
It's too dark, all right. Okay, so that's the basics. So you can put your dressing gown over that and just lounge at home and just reading a book and smoking a cigar, or whatever a gentleman would do.
In which case I'd probably have my little half slippers on.
So half slippers on, and obviously he's going to put
Boots
his
when I go
boots
out.
when we start to go out. Right,
Very comfortable.
coat.
These are pockets as well. Splendid. And my coat.
So this one also one of the first coats I made several years back. A frock coat with full skirts, pleated at the back, made out of broadcloth from Cohen and Phillips. Again, tailored with padding in front and proper canvassing. Yep. Most of the frock coats at that time, tailcoats, were made in very good quality wool. So you are looking at Melton's broadcloth Superfines, mostly the wool that will not fray when you cut it. The reason for that is you don't fold over the edges of the lapels or collar or the cuffs. You just stitch them together or stitch the lining on top of that if necessary. So here we have quite, I'm going to take some photos and put them on. The lining is folded under, but the main cloth isn't. So the edge stays nice and straight without any fraying and without any extra bulk. The linings at that time were quite flash, I would say. We have loads of very interesting prints. So although the coats tended to be pretty sombre, we have navies, blacks, different kind of browns. We have some green ones, we have some snuff ones. So there's a variety, but it's the linings and the waistcoats that are actually shining in that era above all, I suppose.
Business on the outside, party on the inside.
Very much so.
Very much so.
Colours, again, a shawl colour here. This is a single or double-breasted, I don't know.
This is a single.
Possibly a single
That's
one.
right.
Oh.
These are double, well,
No, it's
got
a
two lines.
double-breasted.
Yes.
With pockets as well. So that's a really comfortable frock coat at the time. Sometimes you can see that style sort of really persevering for another 10-20 years with differences to the collar and to the sleeve especially, because sleeve here is pretty full. We're going to see at the back. Pretty full and gathered sleeve head to get that very nice broad shoulder look. With the waist, that looks great. From this,
He needs a corset.
this being a little bit unfinished somehow. There's a spoon. So if we're going out, we're going out to a second, a very misty, a little bit less misty now, Scottish countryside. We would need a hat, gloves, proper boots, and a cloak or a mantle. It's winter after all.
It is.
So I'm going to stop here for a second and I'll see you outside.
See you soon.
Right, we're outside. This is a beautiful Gargunnock Inn near Stirling in Scotland. And let's put you slightly to that side and come a bit closer. Yeah, that's about it. So you can see his cape with quite suitably Scottish tartan lining on his cape. You could have several capes if you wanted to. This is not a great coat, so it doesn't have sleeves. However, it has slits in the full cape, and it can be full length, it can be quarter of cuff length, which is here. Quite difficult to get in the longer knickers because he's quite tall. And the most interesting is the closure here. It's 2 buttons and a cord, and this is an original cord that basically you regulate the opening with this little toggle. This has been, could you come closer, come closer? Yeah. So this is a loan from Gina from Silkworks, so it's amazing little tassels, and that closure was featured on both men's and ladies' attire. It was quite versatile. You could adjust it on the fly. It's a little bit folded over now. And obviously, if necessary, you can close it completely. So you have the very fashionable vampire collar that can go up to there. It just looks very silly. And give us a twirl look at some duct tape. Again, you can line it completely if necessary, but it really isn't. A very dashing look for a gentleman in the country.
If I offer
More
a
on
walk,
this one
I'd have my
later.
gloves and a stick with me, but at the moment,
And
it's not
gloves, I
that cold.
suppose.
It's not that cold.
It's only about 2 degrees or so, so it's not bad. Celsius degrees, obviously.
Yeah, the pheasants in the distance.
So yeah, so that's our place for the weekend. We're just waiting for our guests to arrive for 5 days, 1830s shenanigans. So thank you for watching, and tune up for the next episodes for evening. And I suppose I better start recording my stuff now. Thank you.
Doodle pip.
So let us have a look at the evening variations. We have the indoors, we have outdoors, we have sort of lounging and morning attire, and we are looking at the evening, either dinner or a ball. So starting from the bottom up, we have dancing pumps, different than you actually had yesterday.
Yes, I have other leather dancing pumps as well. These are also appropriate for indoor slippers, I find.
Okay, so slippers, these are silk, I think, not the leather ones yesterday. And we have pantaloons, which is sort of quite narrow trousers. They were still fashionable at that time. Obviously, the design, as you can see, is very much breeches, like just like longer breeches, but going over to the calf with very voluminous seats so that you can actually bend, and still fall front. You still have fall front pants at that time, with narrow or shaped fronts or wider, so it was quite a lot of varieties. You can also wear your Cossacks as well for the evening. So that was yesterday dancing. I'll see if I can find a photo from that. Frilly shirt, so mauve frilly shirt, and there were again quite a lot of varieties of how much frill was showing. Do we have pin tucks there or not? With voluminous sleeves, necktie, and waistcoat. And again, waistcoats in that era are just...
Don't forget.
The cravat pin, sorry, I do apologise. And of course, the waistcoats at that time are a huge, huge colourful feature. We have here a silk brocade, so not brocade, damask. And let's turn around. You're actually a little bit, come closer here, come closer. I haven't done it yet. Come closer to me, please. You are not all the way up.
Fold it properly,
So that's better folded. That's much better. Wider shawl collar.
Much better.
And 2 welt pockets. So these did not have enough fabric to actually match the pattern precisely, but because the pattern is so busy, it doesn't show anyway. The back, just like before, we have brand new eyelets and lacing, keeping the waistcoat nicely fitted. And yes, you can wear your corset underneath. And on top, a brand new frock coat. That's the last sort of real era, 30s, where you can have different colours for the evening as well, not necessarily black. Black was worn and was popular, as well as different kinds of snuff, as this one. You might want to unbutton your last 2 buttons. Navy, occasionally green, but rather rarely. So this would not be super formal. Oh my god, that's my phone. But for a country gent, for an evening, that's something that you'll be wearing quite a lot, especially if it's a family evening. Right, come over here. Let me have a look at this style does not actually even meet. Sorry, I'm not ready yet. I'm halfway through. This one doesn't even meet in the front, so it was designed to be worn open to showcase your waistcoat. And come have a look at the back. We have nice tails. Come over here because they are a little bit unfolded. So the back, not better, come over here again. I'm going to have to do bits. Not sure why it doesn't. I might need to go do it. I've just finished it this moment. So the back was getting more and more cut in, emphasising the wideness of the hip and theoretically the narrowness of the waist. The pocket flaps could be fake, like here. You don't really want the pocket for the back. No, not on top yet. So you don't really want to spoil the line of the coat, but you can also have pocket inserted them for real, as well as pocket inside. So that's basically our evening attire, and I think someone is ready for dinner, and someone needs to get ready for dinner.
Definitely ready for dinner.
And
Come on, darling, hurry up.
That would be me.
I'm hungry.
So we're all ready. I hope you've enjoyed it. Oh, one more feature here, and which is quite interesting, is velvet lapel and velvet collar. And this velvet is a vintage one, so it was surprisingly easier to stitch than ours, and was just enough to form a jacket. So there we go. We are off to a nice dinner for our last night at Gargunnock House in Scotland.
Shall we do it?
Well, give me 5 minutes and I'll change into something much less comfortable. Hope you've enjoyed it, guys. Thank you for watching.